Salute, respect, love, and blessings to all my brothers who gather around to get wisdom, to get wiser, and to keep taking the red pill. Before I get started into today's topic, I want to drop two shoutouts real quick. The first one is by the brother LC. Salute to LC. He says, I used to think that we should be white knights, saviors, but it is all BS, put in our heads by a feminine society. Yeah, bred by women, sharing with us what an ideal man should be, although not being a man. He says, at first, some of your content seemed quite offensive for me. But later on in retrospection, I've started to change my paradigm. And I think that you are darn right in your teachings. This allowed me to lay the cornerstone of the new me. Killing the beta, will say some. Becoming a real man, will say others. I'm just Mgtow ibmor as a new model. Thanks for contributing to building my new me. I will leave it right there. Shout out to that brother. And also, it is not uncommon for many men to find my content offensive. It is not just women. Because the blue pill rage sometimes is even stronger than the red pill rage. Until a man converts over and realize the truth and realize that on this channel there is no women bashing. On this channel there is no women hating. It is just pure truth. But the reality is harsh. So therefore it seems like I am saying something bad. So it will offend some. This is why I have the green screen at first in order to give the viewer discretion. But that is normal. I am glad, brother, that you are now picking up this truth. I also read your question. I will be addressing that in private. So hang on. I've been really busy, guys. That's for everyone. Since I got out of the hospital, I had to put a lot of things back in order, run errands that were not run for the time that I was in the hospital. So be patient with your brother. I am dropping content. I am here. I have not let go of you guys. You know, the brotherhood is strong. So this will most likely be my last video of this year. On New Year's Day, I should drop a video on Patreon for the brothers over there. I also want to give the second shout out to the brother Fra. I'm just going to call him Fra, as I want to keep the identity of my brother private. He says, on my Patreon, at $3 a month, there's absolutely no excuse for me, an individual that has learned from you, not to support. I've never been compelled to use Patreon until I stumbled upon your YouTube page. Love from the UK. Much love to you, also my brother. Much love to you too, and all the other brothers who are listening. I want to address this part real quick and say that the reason the Patreon is so cheap is because I've realized that I had a lot of brothers who listen to my content from around the globe. And not everyone lives in Western Europe or in the United States of America. A lot of my brothers are living in third world countries, and I realized the monthly income for some of the people living out there were not so high. So I look at the monthly revenue of most people living in Malawi, which is one of the lowest income countries in the world, and also the lowest currency, which I believe at the moment might be Iran. And I decided to come up with a number that would be incredibly affordable, so even brothers in third world countries would be able to participate in content that I'm going to bring on Patreon, which is unbound, which is without the walking on eggshells that YouTube provide. YouTube creates, which is a hostile environment for any YouTuber who wish to speak upon the truth. And for anyone who lives in the US, it's practically still free because it's only $3 a month. So that is why I did that. So thank you for realizing that, my brother, and shout out to you. With that said, let us get into today's content. Today's topic, man cave. Man cave. It seems to be very popular nowadays. Actually, a bunch of men think that the idea is actually pretty cool. The man cave is a man's space. It is where the man can be himself. The manosphere on YouTube, for example, is a digital man cave. It is a space for men. In some places around the world, they call the man cave the man's space. It's actually quite healthy for men. But honestly, it is quite beta to have a man cave. But I am not criticizing it because I understand the necessity of it in modern times, especially here in the West. A space in the house where a man can go to away from his wife, maybe in the garage, maybe the attic, maybe a basement, maybe a space in the backyard where he can decorate it his own way, where he can meet up with his friends and they can just relax there, where no women can intrude on his conversation, his thought process, his decoration, or his food choices. A space for him. Honestly, in a real alpha world, a man should be able to have his kingdom, his house, and not worry. But in this society where men are made to be beta, well, it is very necessary for a man to have his own little space. Now, of course, women are the micromanagers of the home. That is actually normal. They deal with the details in the little itty bits of pieces of things like cooking, the decoration, the tablecloth. We understand that. But men are the managers. They lay down the foundation, the rules, the box. But best believe the woman will be decorating that box, of course, within the limits and the perimeter of the box as much as she can. That is why she becomes the micromanager. But to the point now in the West where the man is pushed away and he is not even the manager anymore or the micromanager. He is just a child in his own home. So he needs a man cave. So my brothers, kick your feet up, grab yourself something cold to drink. It's time for the men to break this down. Let's get this knowledge. First, we're going to deal with the sad part of why this is even beta. Why is it even weak for a man to have to designate in his own home a room as if he is a child that needs his own little room to play in where his parents does not violate his privacy? And then I will teach you guys how to properly have a man cave because I understand why it is necessary in the West. Red pill style, of course. Let's see what this psychiatrist had to say. According to psychiatrist and author Scott Hultman, it is important for a man to have a place to call his own, referring to a male area to which to retreat. All right? Now, this is a psychiatrist that is referring to the idea and commenting on the idea of a man cave. All right? Scientists are saying they find it healthy that men have a man cave. It is important to the man's health. But there is something very wrong and very beta about that quote itself. So I'm going to read the quote by Scott Holtzman one more time, starting with the quotation. It is important for a man to have a place to call his own, referring to a male area to which to retreat. If you did not get it, allow your brother to shed light upon it. Let's break down the last word, retreat, that we just read. Retreat. Submit. Something's already wrong with the word submit here. But let's keep going. Of an army, or a force, or a power, or a symbol of authority, a form of an enforcer, right? That's what an army is. Withdraw from enemy forces as a result of their superior power or after a defeat. That is what the word retreat means. So if the psychiatrist believed that a man cave is the way that a man retreats from some kind of a battle, some kind of an attempt to be the dominant force, right? But you lost because a force opposing to yours was superior. That would make you beta. That would make you weak. Not even beta, but weak. As I said before, betas are only betas to other males that are more alpha. When a man is weak before a woman, it is not even beta. It is an abomination. Because beta males in the wild, of course, are not backing down to the female. They're beta because they are backing down to the males, to other more powerful, more formidable males. So when we see men we're calling beta, these men are worse than beta. They are just weak. They are an abomination. They are contrary to nature and divine law. So we have a man who has to retreat, right? To submit, to back down from a superior force, which is his wife, the feminine. That is why I called it weak. I want to establish that. And then I understand the situation. I will teach you, brothers, how to do this intelligently and the red pill way. Now, another important part about the definition of the word retreat is that you are retreating from the enemy. Did I see enemy? After the parentheses, the third word there is enemy. I really hope your wife doesn't have to be an enemy. But for most men in modern, especially Western society, they can attest. They can confess. They can admit and say for sure and for certain without a doubt that their wife, that their girlfriend, that female that they sleep with and try their best to be romantic with, that they live with, cohabitate with, is the enemy, the nemesis, the succubi, as my other brothers in the manosphere would say. That is why it is a problem. Retreat from a superior power? Your wife? What? The enemy? After a defeat, you are a defeated male? A defeated man. Deflated testicles. Without testosterone. Void. Ripped from your substance. Lacking masculinity. A castrated man. Neutered, shall we say. Now that is sad. But I understand, my brothers. I get it. You think it's cool, man. You don't even see what's wrong with the very idea. Well, maybe there's nothing I can do about that. But let me at least show you how to properly set up a man cave. Mr. Limber style. The man cave. The man cave. So popular, man. Amazing. But we just discussed what's wrong with it, but we know why it is necessary. Your wife, your woman, being overbearing, being nagging, always trying to dress you, dress what you eat, dress what you wear, dress your shoes, dress your laces, your bow tie, clipping your nails exactly the way she think it should be clipped. Not that there's anything wrong with a woman clipping your nails. I actually approve that part. I endorse that part. But it's what she wants to do with it. She thinks you should have some clear nail polish or whatever name they use. I think they call it a base or something. I don't know what it is, but whoever's more familiar with manicures and pedicures knows what I'm talking about. She picks your tie. She wants you to be exactly how she wants you to be. She's playing house with you like the little girl who always played house with her dolls when she was a little kid. She plays it with your money. She takes the check when you make it. She spends your check how she sees fit. You don't know what else to do. You feel like you're under fire. An enemy that will not cease, marching forward and gaining ground in your territory. You're losing ground. The enemy is marching forward. And she wears Prada. She have high heels and a pedicure. You are now retreating. You are going into the man cave. You have to run away. Now, you set yourself up a basement, an attic, a garage, a little space where you can be with your friends, because not even your friends are permitted in the house. She have rules for them too. So what do? You need your space. You need your man cave. Well, let's do it right. When dealing with a woman, first thing, always have your space. Now, I understand in the ideal situation, the house should be your space. You should run your kingdom. But you as the manager and her being the assistant manager, the one who micromanages the little things, have become so OCD that she's driving the actual manager insane. She's driving the man of the house, the head of the house, the king of the house, out of the house. A man always needs his own space. And that is not just relating to your physical home. Let me explain. Many brothers complain in the manosphere when they see women in the comment sections is because it is a man cave. It's a digital man cave. It is our brains made digitized, right? We have digitized our own mind. And when we see the feminine in the comment section, when we see them around, men get bothered by it. Because it's our little space where we do our thing. Instead, they want to come in there and micromanage. They want to tell you, I like what you said, but I disagree with this, right? Then in the comment section, well, you guys need to do this. And all we're hearing is this same nagging in the comment section. And we're going, why are you here? This is our space. Leave us alone. If you disagree with what we're saying, then why are you here? Why are you driving us insane? So I get the brothers when they are even against the women who are behaving well in the comment section. I get why these men get this way. Because they need their space. You always need your space as a man. You brothers know what I'm talking about. You're at work, you're having conversation with a bunch of men, you're talking about something sexual, and a woman walks up and stand there in the middle of the circle. What is she doing there? In a man's space. We clearly moved from everybody else for a reason, right? We're standing in this corner having nothing but men there for a reason, right? Now she steps in. What are you guys talking about? She's trying to listen. Her eye moving from side to side, looking at every man there. And as soon as she hears something that she doesn't want to, she's in her feelings. She is upset. She is mad. She is offended. Why are you in our space? We always ask. Always have your space, my brothers. Mentally have your space when you deal with your woman. In other words, do not let her occupy all of your time. Always have time for you. That's called me time. That does not mean time with the children. That means me time. Your time. Time for you to do what the heck you want to do. And don't let her keep calling you when you're out with your friends. Hey, what you doing? Bling. Phone rings again. Hey, where are you? What are you guys doing? Bling. Phone rings again. Hey, what's up? I miss you. Heck no. You see what I'm saying? She is in your man cave. Your man cave is more than just a physical space. It is your mental space. It is your me time. Always have time for you and your friends. Do not let her make you an island. Do not let her take you from your friends. That is why you are alone the minute she breaks up with you. Now you're more vulnerable, so you cry and you crawl back to her. Why do you crawl back to her? Because you have nobody else. She didn't like your mother, so you stopped talking to your family. She didn't like your friends, so you stopped talking to your friends. Now you're all alone. Keep your mental space. Man cave, financially speaking. Always keep money for yourself. You see, even back in the days when women did not work, remember those days? Maybe you don't, but your grandfather does. Maybe your father remembers those days. Women stayed home. Even today, some women still stay home. But these women were never broke. You see, you were so proud at your wife for making ends meet with the money that you gave her. She never complained. She would decorate the house. She probably would quilt a sweater. Maybe she had those skills. And you're like, how does she make ends meet? I don't even make that much money. I am blessed to have such a woman in my life. She finds a way to get Christmas gifts with the little money that I make. Maybe you're into Christmas. I'm not, but hey, everybody's different. She finds a way to decorate the home. She finds a way to put food on the table and have different food every day. And yet we still have a little bit left over to put in the bank and have a saving for ourselves. Until that day. What is that day? The day when she leaves you, right? The day when she leaves you, you wonder, back in the days, how men used to always tell them, where are you going to go? Who's going to take care of you? You know you need me. You're nothing without me. And she goes, I don't need you. Now your granddaddy is shocked. What? How? She needs me. She doesn't work. She doesn't have any money. How can she have such an arrogance? The audacity. The balls on this woman. Well, she been skimming a little off the top. Like the perfect crackhead selling drugs for you. We all know you should not have a person who uses their own merchandise selling the merchandise because, well, they'll use it and you won't make your profit, right? Well, it's the same idea. The woman would always take some of the money and put a little away for herself. But the man would be so consumed with the idea that that woman is making so much happen with the little that he gives her that he doesn't even realize the little bit that is gone. You see, you thought that you were giving her a chore by having her balance all the checkbooks, by having her keep track of the finances. You thought you were giving her something to do. She make it seem like she was so miserable doing it. But the truth is, she was happy to do it. Yes, your great-grandmother, the so-called good women. Yeah, they gave problems too, man. Yes, they did. And this is why a man should learn from that. Even if you're doing everything that you're doing, keep a little bit of money to the side for you that your wife doesn't know about. Your wife does not need to know everything about you. And that is not called being evil. That is not called being mean. That is not called not being transparent. You understand? Do you give the details of your colonoscopy to your wife? Do you tell your kids how you had sex with their mother? And what positions you had her mother in or his mother in? Sexual positions, that is. You don't. Does that mean you don't love your kids? Absolutely not. Do you tell your parents the first time you had an ejaculation what it felt like? No. Does it mean you don't love your parents? No. The same goes for your wife. I know you've been told that you should share everything. You should be an open book. No. Certain things are for you. It doesn't mean you don't love her. It doesn't mean you're not going to do right by her. The same way, keep some money to the side for you. Preferably in gold. Preferably in a safe somewhere else. Preferably as jewelry, where it is not recorded in a bank system, where the government and the laws have lost track of it. Keep a little something, something for you. She does not need to know that money exists. As I get ready to wrap this up, man cave done right. This is how you do a man cave. If you're going to do a man cave, you guys know I always talked about men need to also work on themselves in my series called Leadership of a Man. You need to work on you. You need to establish your mission, have your vision, know where you're going, understand your destination, and get to it. Which means work on your finances also. Work on your spirituality. Work on your knowledge. Work on your vocabulary. Work on your writing, reading skills, your typing skills, your budgeting skills, how to work a spreadsheet. Make sure you're not in the negatives. Make sure you're not living too much off of credit. Unless you know how to use credit in order to get rich, then by all means, do what you do. But however, I want you guys to understand that when you work on your finances, you don't need to be rich. But if you have anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 stacked to the side for yourself, you'll find a few brothers of yours, maybe fellow married men, men who have girlfriends, men who have women they live with, right? And for those of you who are on Patreon, you understand my last video that I dropped, and we had a campfire talk over there around the campfire. And we broke this down. And you guys are on the loop about this video here that was supposed to come out. And we talked about this lightly, right? Men need to get together with other like-minded men. Close friends like brothers, cousins, or real brothers who are blood brothers, right? And what you do is you get yourself a company, something small like an LLC or a non-profit organization, right? And what you do, you purchase yourselves like a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment somewhere outside the cities where your wife frequents or your wives frequent. All right, if it's multiple brothers coming together and each of them have wives or girlfriends. When you guys put money together, it becomes extremely affordable in order to purchase a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment. You don't need a lot of square feet. You just need a very small place, somewhere you have a TV, a little fridge, maybe a stove. You guys cook something, grill something, throw a griddle, make yourself some steak. You kick back, you have yourself a beer, maybe something nice to drink, and just the guys there, you take your time and you relax. You need a space like that. And your wife should not even know it exists. And yes, this is not just a theory, guys. I've done this before. Now, I'm not a man in a relationship that is binded to any woman. However, many of my friends are in those kind of relationships. And most of my brothers who are my friends, blood brothers and those who are not blood brothers, right? They are older than I am. So those are men with wives or men who live with girlfriends. Now, some may say just don't live with them. Yeah, but how about the brothers who are already living with them? How about the brothers who are married, who just need that space? Well, my brothers, that space is important. And it cannot be separated or split off and given to her if you have a divorce. She should not even know it exists. That is man cave done right. You need that mental space, that space that is for you, that space where she does not need to know everything about you. You need that financial space, that money you have to the side, that account. Preferably you convert that money into gold. Preferably you convert that money into silver. Preferably you put it in as jewelry or some kind of stone or rock or artwork that is of high monetary value. Something she cannot get a hold of and the government will lose track of. Put that away for yourself, just in case you have a bad divorce, a bad breakup. Get yourself a nice place that is a man cave where she does not come to. She does not know it exists at all. That is how you do it right. I won't hold you brothers much longer. Until next time, peace and see you on Patreon.